We didn't start the fire. Except wait, I did. This isn't about, pending arson charges. It's about the song by Billy Joel, which I have been tasked to, write about. 10 events, people, or other lyrics written in the song, and I need to talk about them in a historical sense. So, editing me, put, the list on the screen, somewhere that way, or probably because editing me hates me that way, and it just shifted over again. Fuck. Joe DiMaggio was born November 25th, 1914 in the city of Martinez, California. Born to Sicilian immigrants Giuseppe and Rosalie DiMaggio. In his youth, he would play baseball in order to get away from his family's fishing business, which he had a bit of a distaste for. Going as far to write in his autobiography, now this isn't a direct quote, because I don't own his autobiography, but that baseball wasn't appealing to him, and he just liked the idea of getting away from the smell of dead fish. Eventually, Joe did find his passion for the sport, after his older brother Vince made the minor leagues and recommended Joe when his team needed a shortstop. Joe would eventually play for the New York Yankees and start his famous 56-game hitting streak. Now, Billy Joel here is most likely referring to the car brand in his lyrics, but the Studebaker family was originally a family of blacksmiths before they started making wagons and eventually automobiles. After a fire at one of their plants, although it wasn't the direct reason, they did stop making wagons. But in 1902, they made and sold their first automobile to one F.W. Blees of Macon, Missouri. They would continue making automobiles until 1966, when the last Studebaker car would be produced. The invention of television is a very complicated series of events, with many people claiming to be the one to have invented it, so I'm just not going to go over that. We do know the first thing ever broadcast on a television system. It was a small ventriloquist dummy named Stooky Bill.
You'll have to convince a lot of people.
Only a few, Johnny. Only a very few. The rest'll soon follow. Then it'll all be mine. Aye, you'll see. You'll see. This'll all be Stooky Bill TV.
Television would become a fad in the 1950s and would quickly transcend the label, becoming a staple of life in the Western world. Stalin grew up in a poor and abusive home. After getting out of school, he would end up becoming an underground political agitator, eventually getting to work with the revolutionary Vladimir Lenin. After Vladimir Lenin's death, Stalin would use his position to claim power and join the Axis powers during the events of World War II, before eventually being betrayed by Germany. He was warned of this betrayal by the Allied powers leaders, but he ignored their warnings due to his insane paranoia, which eventually ended with him dying from a stroke due to him not allowing any doctors to treat him, out of fear of an assassination attempt.
Gonna do superhero landing. Wait for it!
Dacron is a type of synthetic cloth polyester that was very popular for clothing in the late 60s and 70s. It was marketed as a very durable fabric and a sort of status symbol at the time due to its price, which at times could rival cotton. It was used in damn near everything from polo shirts to suits and even dresses. But nowadays it's more often used in blended fabrics because of its tendency to trap sweat and heat against your skin. I've worn some. It is not breathable. I agree. Pure Dacron is terrible. We gotta talk about the king. Born in East Tupelo, Mississippi, 1935, Elvis Presley was a music sensation during the 50s and 60s. He took advantage of the rock and roll craze during the late 20th century, but he didn't always work in music. He was once a delivery truck driver, I think he was janitor one time. Oh look, there's the salt pile again. In 1998, he was inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame, 21 years after his death. Sputnik was the first official satellite in Earth's orbit. Ever. Just ever. It's the first thing humans put into space. Well, and the salt pile's back. Okay, I'm just gonna not say anything that's not directly written. And it does definitely follow the Russian mantra of, it's not pretty, but it get job done. Like many Russian inventions. Its only functions were to be a symbol of the Soviet Union's progress over the West, gather data, and to emit a constant signal that has been described as a beep beep. Its very existence marked the start of the space race due to the fear it created in US politicians, mostly making them concerned that the world would view the US as falling behind technologically.
I have a better idea.
I'm gonna go
I'm
cheat
gonna
on
go
my
cheat on
wife.
my wife.
The second of 9 kids, John Fitzgerald Kennedy was born May 29th, 1917. He grew up in a very competitive environment, both in terms of intelligence and physicality. He was raised as a Roman Catholic, but also taught politics from a very young age. Around 1941, he would join the United States Navy, where he would nearly be killed when a Japanese destroyer-class ship sank his patrol torpedo, which I didn't know was a thing until then. His older brother Joe wasn't as lucky, though, dying in World War II. Eventually, he became the President of the United States, where he would handle several crises, and he would go out with a bang.
Nothing bad ever happens to the Kennedys!
Starting from January 21st, 1958, 19-year-old Charles Starkweather and his girlfriend, 14-year-old Carol Ann Fugit, killed 11 people over the course of a week until they were apprehended on the 29th. However, for Charles Starkweather, it wasn't his first murder. Less than a year earlier, he had robbed a gas station and killed the clerk on December 1st, 1957. His killing spree started with Fugit's stepfather, mother, and 2-year-old sister. It would end on the 29th with the death of a businessman, his wife, and their maid. He would later be apprehended that same day. Getting a decent bit away from real-life murder and going to fictional murder, Psycho is a 1960 Alfred Hitchcock movie based on a 1959 movie of the same name, written by Robert Bloch. It follows Marion Crane, a secretary who steals $40,000 from her employer, and in an attempt to run away, she stays at the Bates Motel where she would run into Norman Bates, a serial killer with very, very, very intense mommy issues. Norman Bates was inspired by the real-life Ed Gein, and later inspired the name of American Psycho's Patrick Bateman. So editing me, put a Patrick Bateman edit in there. Actually don't, no. I mean, I like the movie, just people don't know it's satire. But going back to Psycho, I watched it earlier today before recording this voice line. Wasn't bad, wasn't good, dragged on a bit long. But it was a controversial piece at the time, really stretching the limits of what they could get away with normally. But I'd rate it a 7 out of 10. It was pretty good. So that's the video. Mr. Dowd, whichever way you would be. You there? Did I? In there? Is it there? Well, Mr. Dowd, wherever you are, boost the engagement in this video. Comment down below my grade that I got, and everybody else, like, subscribe, do the stuff. Tell Mr. Dowd I should get a good grade, because I put so much work in this. It's been 3 weeks. You can tell by the outfit change. Look at me at the start of the video. I'm clean-shaven, too. Or more clean-shaven. I had enough time to shave and then get unshaved. But come back next week when I cover the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure River Dude cover of this song. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm not doing that. But I am going to do more videos like this. More like video essay style stuff. So, come back for that. Outro.